This article is about our old friend Greg Locke. I'm sure you guys probably remember this fella, but just in case, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a reminder of who he is. So we're going to go back in the archives, take a look at some of his older clips, just so that I can refresh your memory on him, and we'll see what he has to say for himself. This clip isn't actually that old. It's just from early August 2021. So let's give it a look and see what he said.
Do you see this nonsense our governor signed? People are like, well, there's really not a nefarious plan. Y'all just tinfoil hat wearers.
Call him like I see him. By the way, he lives in Tennessee. The governor he's talking about is Bill Lee, I believe, Republican. Apparently he voted for Bill Lee, but I guess he regrets his decision now. Let's keep listening.
You need to adjust the rabbit ears on your TV because y'all just crazy. Really?
Yes.
Why don't you read for yourself what our governor, which, by the way, will not get reelected, because I'm telling you, he is a coward I don't care how much he talks about Jesus. Bill Lee's a coward. You can tell him I said so.
I'm sure he cares very deeply that you think he's a coward. I'm sure you've just wounded him in his heart and in his soul.
He's a noodle. He's a waffler. Willy-nilly nonsense.
Language. You hearing this, dude? Oh my God. The other day I covered a clip of Hank Kunneman, friends with Kenneth Copeland, saying what in the hell is going on.
Anybody with a brain can see on the night of the election he was winning by a clear indication that that's where the election was going. Why in hell... It's not a cuss word. I'm talking about a location and an agenda.
He tried to excuse his use of a swear by saying, I'm talking about an agenda and a location. It's like, just get over yourself. If you want to swear in church as the pastor, then just do it. Just be honest about it, right? I am amazed that this guy right here honestly refuses to swear. And I have to say, mad respect for the language that he's using.
He's a noodle. He's a waffler. Willy-nilly nonsense.
I love it, dude. I am such a fan of words like this. I've been desperately trying in my personal life to work in words like nary and willy-nilly and shenaniganery. That's a really good one, shenaniganery. I've been trying real hard to work those in, ironically, of course, but they don't seem ironic in his case. Either way, mad respect.
Opening up Tennessee to this bunch of craziness going on. I ain't voting for him again. I'm ashamed I voted for him the first time.
Okay, so tell us what the dude did. What are you so upset about, Greg Locke?
By the way, Trump ain't going to endorse him either. I can promise you that right now. But nonetheless, they've authorized the Tennessee Department of FEMA to build what they call, in his own authorized pages of a signature, quarantine camps.
No. I actually covered this video a while back. This is just a refresher to remind you guys of some of the really bizarre positions he has. So if you're really curious what the executive order said, I actually downloaded the executive order in PDF format and read it on stream. That is not in the executive order, quarantine camps. What the executive order actually said was something like, they're going to forego building checks right now if they need to erect new buildings for people who get sick from COVID, like new hospitals. If they need to put up temporary structures so that people can go in there while they recover, then they don't need to go through the process of checking them for like structural integrity right now and things like that. It's kind of like an emergency order, and it's pretty standard stuff. They do this anytime there's any serious outbreak, some epidemic or whatever else. This is not out of the ordinary, and it is not a quarantine camp. This is pure fear-mongering at best. Let's keep listening.
I ain't talking about East Germany. I'm talking about Tennessee. Quarantine camps.
No.
For the uninformed people that are still in refusal to be vaccinated.
That's not what it was for. For the, what was it?
Uninformed people that are still in refusal to be vaccinated.
No, it's for anybody who gets sick with COVID. If the hospitals overflow, they can build temporary structures to put them in while they recover. It isn't like if you're unvaccinated, you have to go to these camps or whatever. It's just building structures in case of hospital overflow. That is it. But like he said, adjust the rabbit ears on your TV or fix your tinfoil hat or whatever. That is exactly how I feel right now. This guy is completely disconnected from reality. He loves this stuff, though. He covers this shit constantly. He's coming at it from just a warped, strange perspective, and this is exactly on brand for him.
If that don't bother you, you might as well show up at another church next week, because I'm going to keep raising Cain about all this nonsense. I don't care what Bill Lee says. I don't care what fraudulent, fake Joe Biden says. I don't care what Planned Parenthood says. I don't care what Chris Cuomo said. I don't care what Gavin Newsom said. I don't care what Nancy Pelosi and her insurrectionist nonsense has to say. They hate us.
Okay, I don't think they care what you have to say either, for the record, but nobody hates you, Greg Locke. It's almost like projection. Like he has this pure, unadulterated hatred for certain people. Like, for example, Hillary Clinton. Perfect example. He hates her to his core. I don't hate Greg Locke. I just wish he'd get better. Dude's obviously sick. He's got a deep problem that needs to be resolved right now, which it seems evident to me based on the things that he says. Completely outlandish shit, disconnected from reality in every way. I almost feel like sympathy for the dude. I don't hate him. I wish he would get the help that he so desperately, obviously needs.
They hate us! We are speed bumps to the deep state on the road to their progressive communism.
Speed bumps on the road to their progressive communism. How is he a speed bump? I mean, if the deep state, quote unquote, is so powerful, what is it that he thinks he's doing right now that is stopping the deep state from instituting communism, as he says? I don't understand. Like, everything about this from beginning to end is completely unhinged. I'm sitting here desperately trying to make sense of all of this and apply rationality and reason to the things that I'm hearing, and I am failing miserably because it makes no sense. I'm trying to apply rationality and reason to something that doesn't have it.
And I'll shout it from the rooftop if I'm the last one.
Okay?
I live by what I say, and I will die by what I say if I have to.
And there's your persecution complex right there. I knew it was coming out any moment. He'd already kind of exhibited signs of a persecution complex, but right here it is, right in front of us now. He believes that he's persecuted by this shadow group of people who hate him. Like he said, they hate us. And he fears that he will be the last one standing one day, apparently. I try to get in this guy's headspace, but every time I do, it's like a confusing mess.
I'll fight this garbage until my dying breath.
He has deep problems. This guy has deep problems that need to be resolved. So he just came out with a new clip. Now, that last one we watched is going to be relevant, and I'll show you why in a minute. We need to get to the end of these latest couple of clips first. Let's watch this next one and see what he had to say for himself. This one came out mid-November 2021.
I got a message today and said, hey, Pastor, they just sent out their second round of investigation subpoenas for Nancy Pelosi's whatever watch, terror, hit list that I'm on.
I assume what he's talking about is the January 6th stuff. Like, he wasn't at that, was he? I didn't think he was at it. The reason I think he was at that is because the title of this video is something like Greg Locke is talking about January 6th subpoena or something like that. Why would he be on a watch list like that if he wasn't showing up to January 6th? I mean, the guy says some pretty concerning shit, like real concerning shit on a regular basis. But even Rick Wiles, as far as I know, isn't on any watch lists, though he should be. After saying something like this.
Come on, left. We're going to meet you in the streets this time. You know what they're doing here in Florida? The governor wants a bill passed in Florida to empowers citizens to looters and rioters. We're not going to put up with this stuff anymore. The left, you better pack up and flee. You better, if you're part of this communist revolution, lefties, you better get out of the country. If we find out you're a part of the communist revolution, we're coming after you. All right? I don't care. FBI, put my name down on a list. Go ahead and do it.
Literally threatening people if he supposedly finds out that they're part of a communist revolution or whatever. I don't know that that guy is even on a watch list, even though apparently even he thinks he should be. I don't know why Greg Locke thinks that he would be. You have to do an awful lot to be on a watch list.
And somebody said, are you okay? Did you get your subpoena yet? I said, nope, but I hope I do.
Of course, like I said, he's talking about his subpoena to testify about January 6th, I'm assuming, because right now in the news, Steve Bannon was just subpoenaed by Congress to testify about his communications and things like that with Donald Trump around the January 6th event. And Steve Bannon refused to show up, basically just threw the subpoena out. So guess what happened? Steve Bannon was indicted for failure to appear before Congress or something like that. And he turned himself in to the FBI just the other day. This is like breaking news, just came out. I guess he's going to be arraigned soon or something like that. I don't fully understand where it is in the process or what's happened so far or what's happening next. But, you know, if you decline to honor a subpoena that has been sent to you by Congress, you're in some deep shit. You're not getting out of that. Now, I don't know why Greg Locke seems to think that he would be subpoenaed. Was he in communication with Donald Trump through the January 6th stuff? Was he working with him? Was he even at the January 6th events? I assume not, because they've arrested a ton of people already. I would have thought that Greg Locke would have been one of the first people arrested for engaging in all that January 6th stuff, if he had. So I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. I just think it's odd that this guy is expecting a subpoena, apparently.
Did you get your subpoena yet? I said, nope, but I hope I do. You hear me? I hope I do. I can't wait to sit up in the halls of justice. Stand up to my feet and in the name of Jesus, rebuke that Jezebel demon baby killing in the name of Jesus Christ on national TV. Don't you think I won't do it? Yes, I will.
What do you even say to that? What do you even say? That was just a whole lot to take in just now. As if anybody cares what you have to say in the halls of Congress. You think that anybody really gives a shit what anti-vaxxers have to say when they walk into board meetings? No. I care about what they have to say because I want to sit here and dissect it and understand how they got to where they are. Like, what psychology led them down this path. But I genuinely don't think anybody gives a shit what they actually had to say. They aren't taking their word for anything. I mean, they sound like raving lunatics usually when they walk into these school board meetings. And that's pretty much what Greg Locke sounds like right now, too.
I'll rebuke them all in the name of Jesus. Ain't a bit scared. So, FBI, I hope I get my subpoena soon. I've been waiting.
Okay, I really don't expect him to receive a subpoena. I don't know why he would be subpoenaed unless he was specifically talking to Trump and taking part in the planning process of January 6th, or if he was physically at January 6th, in which case he would probably have gone to jail because he almost certainly would have gone in with everybody else. But here's the persecution complex once again. Dude wants to make it clear that he is ready to go in and stand up tall against tyranny, blah, 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 blah. And when that subpoena doesn't come, he's going to claim they were too scared of what he would say. Just watch and wait. When he comes out and says that, I will clip this out and insert it in that video. Put money on it. when the subpoena doesn't come, he's going to say, they were too afraid of what I would say. That's why they didn't subpoena me. That's what he's going to say. I'm sure of it. That was Greg Locke going off the rails. But guess what? Like I said before, going off the rails is kind of his bit. That is what he is best at. In fact, that's why he's famous in the first place. This next clip came out early November 2021. The last one was from mid-November, so it was actually around the same time, if I remember correctly, just a few days apart. But I wanted to give this next one a watch. This one was before the last one we watched by just a couple days. Let's see what he had to say for himself. Check this out. This is on the subject of the term, let's go Brandon. Give it a watch.
I have people mail me let's go Brandon shirts. Listen, don't talk. Don't talk. Don't talk.
I don't think anybody was planning on talking there, bro. But, okay. Yeah, let's give it a listen.
I'm cool with it. I'll wear it. I'm going to do a Let's Go Brandon rally. I get it. But that nonsense should have never been chanted under this tent a few weeks ago.
Why? If you were curious, you didn't know what the Let's Go Brandon stuff was, a few weeks ago, there was this NASCAR racer who won a race. Dude's name was Brandon. He won the race, so the news was interviewing him, talking to him, and, congratulating and asking him what he thought about everything. And in the background, you could hear the crowd chanting something. It sounded like, let's go Brandon. That's what the news people thought. They said, oh, listen in the background, they're saying, let's go Brandon. But if you listen closer, it sounds like they might have been saying, fuck Joe Biden. Ever since then, the Let's Go Brandon clip of the news talking to him.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
As you can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go Brandon. Brandon.
It's gone viral, pretty much. And congressmen and pastors and everybody, every far-right wingnut is using that as like a catchphrase now. They're putting Let's Go Brandon bumper stickers on their trucks, and they're wearing Let's Go Brandon masks and the whole 9 yards, because it's a more polite way of saying fuck Joe Biden. If you ask me, you can just say fuck Joe Biden if you want. Like, why does anybody care? The odd thing to me is that Greg Locke seems to be unhappy with people saying it under the tent. Specifically, he said,
I have people mail me Let's Go Brandon shirts. Listen, don't talk.
He said people were mailing him the shirts, right?
I'm cool with it. I'll wear it. I'm going to do a Let's Go Brandon rally. I get it.
So he's doing a rally and he's wearing the shirts, right? His grievance isn't with the phrase then, or the idea behind it or anything. Why doesn't he want it said underneath the tent, which is his church? He holds his church service under a big circus tent. That's what it is. Why is it specifically under the tent that he has a problem with it? Has he suddenly grown a conscience, or at least grown like a fear of the Johnson Amendment, which forbids churches from specifically endorsing or opposing individual candidates? I would be genuinely surprised if that is his hang-up, because we just watched a clip for like 10 minutes where he bitched about Joe Biden and said he's like the spawn of Satan and all this other stuff. So what's his problem? Like, what's his hang-up? It can't be the Johnson Amendment, right? Let's keep listening.
It doesn't matter who started it. Doesn't matter who did it. It was an embarrassment to the body. Oh, listen, I'm all for the sentiment, Let's Go Brandon. Absolutely. I could care less what that demonic possessed thinks about me in this church. Not Brandon. I know what it stands for. I'm cool. I can handle it. I can wear a shirt, doesn't bother me. I can go preach in these rallies. In this tent, leave it alone.
Why? I don't understand. I'm trying to like wrap my head around this. I mean, we just listened to the guy say willy-nilly nonsense. He never even hints at swearing. So is his issue that it's a euphemism for a swear? I'm trying to understand. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Let's go, Jesus! Let's go, Jesus! Let's go, Jesus! That's what I'm talking this house.
Okay, now I'm getting the impression that his complaint is that it's getting too political rather than what church should be focused on, which is Jesus. But he has specifically called that idea out too and said that, you know, there is no church without politics and vice versa. That we live in a Christian nation and that Christians should be running the government and all this other stuff. His hang-up is not the idea of the mixture of church and state. He wants that. So what's his hang-up here? I really don't get it.
Yes, let's go, Jesus. I know what he means, and I'm cool with what he means. I'm cool with what he means. I want him out too.
I want him out too. So that last sentence that he said was a political statement that he made. I want him out too. And under the Johnson Amendment, Greg Locke could lose tax-exempt status for saying that. He explicitly, what's the verbiage that the Johnson Amendment uses? I'm trying to remember. Here's the specific line from the Johnson Amendment that forbids churches from getting involved in politics, which does not participate in or intervene in, including the publishing or distributing of statements, any political campaign on behalf of or in opposition to any candidate for public office. That's the rule. You can't endorse or oppose any political candidate for office. And Joe Biden is a political candidate in office. You can't do that. And that's exactly what Locke did just now.
I want him out too.
I want him out too. He specifically opposed a political party, a political person, a campaign. You can't do that shit. So his opposition to Let's Go Brandon can't be focused around that, right? Is that it? Or does it route back to this?
I'm dumber than a box of rocks in a lot of areas.
Is that what it's about? I mean, I'm trying to understand. I'm having trouble here. I just want to know what his hang-up is.
Facebook just makes people think I'm smart.
Anyways, yeah, so that's Greg Locke, and that is his bizarre stance, like his bizarre position on Let's Go Brandon and all that stuff. I just don't get it. The dude is an enigma sometimes, but one thing you can count on is Greg Locke going down the conspiracy rabbit hole as deep as he possibly can every single time.